Welcome to our 5 on 5. We're pleased to be joined by Jackson County Administrator Danny Jordan. Danny, good to see you. How are you today?
Good to see you. Thanks for having me.
Busy time for you guys. Let's first talk about what you're doing today on marijuana.
Right. Today the Board of Commissioners considered and approved an ordinance for a tax on both recreational and medical marijuana. It's a 25% tax on selling and a flat rate tax on producers depending on the type of product that they are manufacturing. The issue really, though, is that this will have to go to a vote of the people in Jackson County. Our home rule charter requires that any time a tax is passed by the Board of Commissioners that the voters get a chance to weigh in whether or not they want to have that tax imposed. The other issue is that the measure that passed actually imposes a tax statewide.
Right.
The measure that passes prohibits the county from having a tax, or if there were ordinances or restrictions or any kind of encumbrances on the use, production, sale of recreational marijuana, that that those would be repealed by the passing of the measure. The measure also will require the county to do specific law enforcement functions, so there are things that police are required to do with regard to the measure, which will impact us. The measure provides that up until 2017, the county would receive 10% of the tax revenue generated from the sales in our county. However, after 2017, it's based on the number of storefronts that each county has. So we could see a significant drop in our percent share because likely there will be more storefronts where there's more population in our state, which would be up north.
Yeah. Okay. You also have two new bosses elected last night. Commissioner-elect Colleen Roberts and Rick Dyer. How does that work for you? Have you talked to these people already? Or where do you go from here? Yeah,
I've had ongoing conversations with pretty much every candidate that has ran for commissioner ever since I've been county administrator. Even when there were 8 or 9 candidates, I think, that ran the election prior to the one that Bryden Fall was elected. And I'm available to answer their questions. It really doesn't affect me a whole lot, with the exception of once a majority of the board makes a decision about what they want to do policy-wise, then I'm charged with implementing it.
All right, very good. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll have much more with Danny in a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back to our 5 on 5. Again, we're here with Jackson County Administrator Danny Jordan. Danny, talking about White City and some economic development the county's involved in there. You guys are supporting So Ready and Mark Von Hawley. Is there conflict between those two sides? How do you envision that working?
Yeah, the Board of Commissioners have been really invested in economic development and made various different types of investments over the last 4 years. Essentially, what they just recently approved was an increase in funding to So Ready from $26,000 to $200,000 a year. So Ready's mission will be to design a conceptual facility for businesses that we may recruit, and also try to move out some of the barriers in the permitting process, so that if a company is interested, they have a conceptual design of a building, they know what it will look like, they know where it will go, and they know that it can be permitted, as well as doing business recruitment and retention more broadly and generally. Mark Von Hawley's role will be to focus on high-tech sector, and his funding by the commissioners is contingent on him receiving 2 other funders of equal value. And so he's recruiting 2 private sector companies right now to contribute along with the county towards that goal of specifically recruiting towards high tech. I don't see there being a conflict. I see them working together. When we bring high tech people here, we have a high tech and a rural energy development zone and an enterprise zone that So Ready manages. So if there is a company that's interested that Mark brings, they're going to have to work with Mark through So Ready to access some of those other incentives that either the county or the state provides. The Board of Commissioners also approved funding to go to Rogue Community College for a technical training program where workers who complete the program are employed immediately upon completion 9 months after they start the program, as well as the new program and facility that Rogue Community College is seeking to receive match funds for a grant for.
Okay, and I'm also curious, you guys are practically neighbors. Of course, you work here in the city of Medford. What is the relationship between the county and the city, and how do you guys approach that? Do you guys work in conjunction with each other very often?
Well, there's a difference between the political relationship and then the administrative relationship.
Sure.
I mean, essentially my job, it requires me to work with all city managers or administrators in our county. There's a multitude of them, as well as managers of, ODOT and RV, COG, and Rogue Valley Transportation District. So we do meet monthly as a group of public managers to discuss issues that affect all of us between each other. And then, you know, specifically the City of Medford, Eric Swanson, who's the city manager there, and I have a great working relationship, and we talk a lot about things that we might be able to do that would benefit the county citizens and the city of Medford citizens generally overall.
Very good, Danny. Great to see you.
Yeah,
Thanks
you.
so much.
All
Happy
right.
birthday.
Yeah.
All right, stay with us. We'll be right back.